Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Miller, and I get to be the host of tonight's call, and I'm one of the people that takes care of these Monday calls on Monday. We get together every Monday at 5:30 p.m. to kick off the week together, to learn from each other, to plug in, to get ourselves set up for the week, and just learning because, while you're on your journey, it's not just about losing weight. It's about changing all of our health. And, like we say, optimal health begins each week. It's not something you just set and forget. It's something you work at. And so for all those that are new, welcome. For all those that are a few weeks into your journey, keep kicking butt. And those that have been on this path for a long time, you guys know what we're talking about here, and you know why we're kicking off the week together. So this is normally where I open it up to share a few victories from the last week, but that's actually what primarily this call is going to be about. So I'll give you some time to think about that. And if you have anything that's really been shifting for you, or any cool victories you've had, or anything just looking back over the last little bit that has really changed for you, we're going to want to hear it here in the next little bit. But before we open it up for that, we just finished up a 6-week series on just some of the main topics of health that people that have really continued to optimize and really get that click going of their health journey have really pulled in and make a really good focus on. So we went a little bit in depth each week and spent a week focusing on that. This was a part of our challenges that you guys, we did in our Facebook group. We also had an online challenge. So I just wanted to review those real quick because one, few of you guys weren't here when we started this, so welcome again. And two, it was just good to review. So these are just some of the top habits, and we actually covered pretty much every one of these topics. We did a challenge earlier this year. We called it Healthy to the Core. So we had all these people asking us, how do you help people create health like this all the time? Like, how is it so predictable? And really, if you boil it down, there's some really core habits that Dr. A talks about that he helps us develop that we want to cover. So number one was how to be a goal setter and how to really just always have goals that you're working towards. We call it structural tension. Dr. A talks about it in the Habits of Health, but it's so important to have goals, little goals along the way, big goals of where you want to be. And because if you don't know where you want to go, you'll end up anywhere. So that was a good topic. We went in a little bit more in depth in healthy fueling and why it works in our body and how that all plays a role. So why it's important to eat 6 times a day, why that plays a role in weight loss, weight maintenance, and our metabolism, and all of those things combined. Healthy motion, basically some great tips on how to go about doing it. I just really want to thank Casey Mitchell for covering that topic. It was really awesome. How exercise works in with our body, how to make it sustainable and really just approach it long-term, because exercise doesn't need to be just anything out there. It can be whatever you really enjoy doing and just being active. So it's different for everyone. Healthy community, that's one of my favorite ones. Just healthy community, being around like-minded people and being mindful of this area. Healthy sleep and rest, kind of how it's the glue that holds everything together, how it helps us produce the right chemicals to keep us satisfied or lack of stress or recuperate. It's, for those who are on the call, you guys know what I'm talking about. We called it the glue of a healthy lifestyle because it really honestly plays a role and it keeps together all these habits that we're talking about. And lastly, last week we ended up with healthy mind. Just, being so many things, being positive, the people you surround yourself with, having purpose in your life, having just, so many different topics, but healthy mind is something that I'd probably want to roll this week into as we kind of open it up for some stories here from what changed for you guys. And these are just the habits that we reviewed these last little bit. Many of you guys set goals that were really related to these things. So maybe some of you really jumped in on some of those particular topics and really enjoyed them. I think I gotta mute something. There we go. Got them. So as we just I just want to recap them because they were so powerful and I had so many people see so many victories and all that. Me personally, it was just good to be reminded of all of these things because this is one of my favorite slides. Many people think that, our mind, just the way our minds work, we just think that goals just go one way and to the goal and then it's done. But really, everything we did this last little bit, everything you're working on today is really just putting you on a trajectory to keep moving forward in your health. It was really great to have a reminder in all these. These are things that I felt like many of you guys, and personally for me, I've made really good strides on these last few years. So it was really good to revisit them. How well was I doing on them? Which ones did I want to take to the next level? So hopefully you guys found some really great victories in these topics. Maybe some of you were just like, wow, I didn't even realize that would play a role in my health. And I love sleep, but I didn't know that really was a big part of my journey. So hopefully you guys just enjoyed the content and kind of opened up your mind to a few different areas. And we kind of kicked this off on a couple different notes, which is, if you set yourself up for success, anything is possible. And that's kind of why we do these health huddles each week. Because if we set ourselves up for success, staying focused and knowing where we're going, success is easy. And at the same time, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So the latter, or the opposite of that is true. If you know where you're going, if you set yourself up for success, you can accomplish anything and everything. And there's always new levels to accomplish. So this is one of my favorite ones. And just because we're literally on a health huddle, I just thought I'd kind of end with this one is you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose carefully is the most positive like wording of that. But, this gives you a whole opportunity to choose that and be mindful of those things. Like, one of the things we covered on healthy, let me stop at my share real quick, on healthy mind and all these topics was that we get to just choose to be positive around the people that live with us. We've all had that experience where people around us lift us up. And we all know that feeling where they've encouraged us to be better. Let's seek out more of those relationships, the people that lift you up, that make you excited to be better. That's what we're doing here. So without any further ado, I'm actually not going to talk anymore. I thought I'd open it up, and I didn't ask anyone in particular to speak. So I'm going to, since we're just coming off of, having a healthy mind and, getting a little bit outside of our comfort zone, I'm going to ask some people to jump on here and share, like, what did you discover about yourself these last few weeks? Like, what victories did you have? What was powerful for you? And, because if it was powerful for you, it'll probably stand out to somebody else, or maybe just one tip that you found really helpful for you. So with that being said, who wants to speak first and share what these last 6 weeks or last few weeks have been like for you? Who's jumping off first?
Can you hear me, Brad?
Okay.
I knew that's exactly what would happen. Everyone's like, I'm not going to go first because I know someone's going to speak at the same time. Let's go. We'll go to Tim first, and then we'll go to Dana.
All right. I love these huddles, and the challenge was a really good time for me to really kind of get focused again, because sometimes we get a little busy and a little bit off track. And I actually clicked on the maintenance, but I was very intentional about doing the do and making sure I was doing, being intentional about, all my choices. And I was surprised. I actually lost 8 pounds in this challenge. And I just had a lot of fun doing it. And it just kind of re-energized me into just being more intentional about my daily choices.
I love it, Tim. I mean, you lost, how much did you lose initially, and how many years ago was that?
Well, it was almost 4 years ago, and I lost about 55 pounds then. And I've been able to maintain it, and, it fluctuated a little bit, and we just had a really busy season, and I put a couple extra on. And during these past 6 weeks, man, I just kind of dialed it right back in and had a lot of fun doing it.
I love it. I mean, that's part of what we're doing. We're always moving forward. And I think this is a really good tip for all of you guys that are maybe newer on the line. It feels really good to get back to the basics. I can't tell you how good it is. And we do these all the time just because it's always a good reminder. So Tim, thanks for being a great example. Thanks for, the tips, and congrats on that for yourself.
Thanks.
All right, Dave, you were trying to tune in next, so you go for it now.
Okay, great, Brad. I just want to say I was, when we started this 6-week, journey, I really was only about 2.5 months into my health journey, and the weight was coming off quickly, and I was really excited. And then, 2.5 months in, it's kind of a time where maybe you could get a little more complacent, not so excited. You could fall off the wagon. So this really helped me. But what some of the things I did, the tips, and everything I've done is, been talked to right here. But I would wake up every morning, and I was very purposeful about what my day was going to look like. And I would plan it, and I would talk through my day to myself. And then I always had my lean and greens in my refrigerator I could go to. I filled my bottles of water like Lori always told us to do. If I was going to go out with someone, I made sure it was someone that I either wanted to share my health plan with or was supportive of my health plan. So there was no opportunity, to get crazy. And I really just wanted to be excited about what I was doing. I wasn't always perfect, but, it was those key people. And then it was always, always, always remembering my why, because my why is greater than any comfort food out there in the world. So that's all it is. And you guys have said all these things 100 times, but I actually put them into practice and it worked. Thank you.
I love it. One, congratulations. Two, I think that's a great tip. I mean, that's usually about the time when people start to fall back on things. Like, it's very normal. That's why there's a diet mentality, and that's why we focus on not doing diets. Diet is what we eat every single day. It's, that's just what we do. That's just, whether you're trying to be healthier or not, we just consume food. That's a diet. So I love that. And so if I could just ask you one question on there for a tip for everybody, what did you, after practicing this, keeping that momentum going at that particular point, did you notice that things, any particular thing becoming easier or just naturally becoming more habit than you had to think less about, because it was just all of a sudden became your norm?
I think drinking the water
Uh-huh.
became the norm. Yeah, instead of always working to get that in. Yeah.
Perfect. Any key that you can pass on to anyone that was helpful for you to like make that a habit?
Well, like Lori said, I filled all my bottles in the morning and made sure I knew how much water, and I had it all in front of me or with me or wherever I was going. So, so it was always a part of my day and a part of my plan, and not just, oh, I forgot my water. So
I love it.
that's
Great.
basically.
Great habit to pull out. Great reminder. Waking up on purpose every single day. It makes it easy when you're moving forward. It's hard to go backwards. So I love it. And congratulations. Let's do just a couple more that we have here. Who has some awesome victories or anything that they learned or a tip that they had from these last little bit? We want to hear it. Who's next?
Brad, this is Shireen.
There you are. I knew someone was going to come off. Everyone's always like, with all the people on the call, they're like, I don't want to click. I don't want to click at the same time as somebody else. Yes, Shireen, I'm so glad you jumped in. What was your victories from this last little bit? Because you lost your weight just like Tim a long time ago.
I did about 3 years ago, and I've kept it off. So that's a huge victory right there for me. But I want to say that it's been really great to be able to plug into these health huddle calls, because it really does set up the entire week as far as like being more intentional. And I have a routine that I do. So I always know before I go to bed at night what I'm going to be doing the first thing when I first wake up in the morning. And one of the helpful tips that I have learned over time is that and I think I learned this from Doug Woods, but whatever goes into your mouth the first thing when you wake up is what you will crave all day long. And so I've made a habit of drinking. I actually drink 24 ounces of water every single morning after I wake up, first thing. And I make sure that I get in those between 90 to 100 ounces of water a day. And that is an absolute routine that I have every single day. So I feel that, just knowing, being intentional of what I'm going to do before I go to bed, for the next day, and that being my focus has been just really, really important for me.
I love that. I mean, that just totally builds on Dana's point, because I love going to bed, taking just that few minutes. I think someone else had that tip earlier on in this week. I think maybe it was Lori, I think, who might have mentioned that. And when you just take a few minutes out, you can wake up with even more clarity and a little bit more purpose. That is a great tip. Good job, Shireen.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's do one more. I'd love to hear any big victory that anyone had this last little bit. One thing that they learned or a tip that they would pass on to somebody else as we kick off this week together. Who's going to wrap us up today? While whoever it is that's unmuting, remember, it's a habit of health to step outside your comfort zone.
Karen wants to go. Unmute yourself, Karen. Oh, can you unmute her, Brad?
Yeah, I'm going to sit here. Sometimes I forget that that's the thing too. Some people don't, they're so new, they don't know how to unmute. Let's see here. I think I found her here. Hold on.
Sorry. Am
There
I
you
on?
go. You are on.
Me?
Yep, you. Go for it, Karen.
I'm Karen. I'm pretty new to this. First time speaking, actually quite nervous. But best thing I've ever, it's not even discovered. It's the group, the family love, the whole Take Shape for Life. So I'm down 50 pounds, and I decided to become a health coach April 1st, and my health coach actually April, so it kind of all made sense. But probably the best feeling in my life. I just love the core of this family, the support, the reaching out. I feel like I'm so excited over this. I keep saying but just really excited. I love it. I love the community. I just the huddles, the more information, sneaking in and listening to everybody without having to really speak. Yeah.
You're doing great, Karen. One, congratulations. And two, this is probably a good place to wrap up right here with today as we take on the week. Another beauty of this too is we're constantly reminded to look how far we've come and also be really excited about where we're going next. So you said the community a bunch of times and the health that you've created. Looking back over these last little bit, I mean, did you say 55 pounds is what you lost?
50.
50. Sorry, 50. 50 is, okay, I guess 50 is.
I own it.
50 is pretty awesome. What would you have to say, looking back on there from where you started? What's the best thing that's changed in your health so far today that you're really glad you implemented in?
I feel my energy. It's almost like something within, just the extra step, the feeling great. Didn't think I had that in me. I came home exhausted. Work 10, 11-hour days, and I didn't think this was possible. And just that extra step, I come home and I feel it. I love it. I love the energy. I love the healthiness. I just love that extra, what I needed. Healthy. Yeah.
I love it. And you can just know 50, I mean, you can just see from your energy, the 50 pounds, like how much has changed in your life. So I'll ask you one last thing. If you had to pass on one tip that has helped you be successful, what would it be to all these people that are saying, hey, I want to be as awesome as Karen? What would you say? What would be your one tip that you would give to people as we start off this week?
I say stay focused. Just, know where you're going. And the next thing you know, that focus kind of disappears. It just happens. I focused on weight in the beginning. I no longer focus on that scale. I don't weigh in as much as I probably should because I'm not focusing on what the scale is telling me anymore. So stay focused, and it happens. It's amazing. That's it.
So good. All right. Thank you, Karen, for sharing. That's a perfect place to wrap up this week. So many great tips among everyone. Hopefully you guys got some good inspiration. I think focus, basics, and shifting away from just weight loss. Many of you guys are like, yeah, hey, I'm excited about my weight loss. That's great. We want you to be excited about it. But with every pound you lose, with every meal, healthy choice you make, with every victory that you have, enjoy that you're making a lifestyle change. And that's when I see when it really clicks for people. And it's what Karen was exactly talking about there. So as we wrap up with this call, I just want to say congrats to everyone. You guys all did amazing. These stories just represent a few of who you guys are on here tonight. I know all of you guys have so many victories. And as you guys have made a lot of shifts in your health, I'd encourage you, one, to not forget what you've changed. Even the small ones, they all add up. So I took some time this weekend personally to think about some things that have changed in my life since the new year. And it's just fun to just take some time out to realize how blessed we really are, to give ourselves some kudos. And, if you've made some shifts, build on them. Each step you take is like, I picture cementing it in like a foundation step. So what are you guys going to move this momentum in towards? We have a whole new season ahead. The sun's shining for, people like Shireen. They're out in Arizona. It's been shining for a while. But what are you guys going to take into this next season? What are you going to build upon? And more important than anything else, what's the next thing you're excited about on your health as you take on this week? So with that being said, I want to thank everyone that jumped in. That is also a habit of health, stepping outside your comfort zone. And we look forward to a great week together and celebrating more victories next week. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Karen, Tim, Ree, and Dana.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Thanks for everything.